Me and Cooper are the worst, most sucker MCs in the world. We have bad breath, we smell bad, and everybody that we've dated cheats on us because we're not good partners. We have bad teeth and they're rotting, and we're poor, and we come from a bad family, and there's photos of our girlfriends sucking other guys' dicks.
Okay. I did it. I got everything together. It should sound normal. It is April 1st, also known as Rockfish Day. It's also the birthday of our friend and comedian Meredith Casey. Shout out to her.
Oh, is the podcast started? Is that why we're doing shout-outs right now?
I'm just doing announcements.
Shout out to Lean Cuisine.
Shout out to Lean Cuisine. Shout out to Mikey McDonald.
Mikey McDonald, check him out. He's on Instagram. He's posting jokes about how he's from Richmond, Virginia. Home of the Lean Cuisine.
MikeMcDonal.
Otherwise known as Joe Obama from our advertisement. So check out
somebody. Actually, I think it was my friend Bruce. He doesn't know Mikey, but he's hosting Set of the Night, and Mikey had a good set on Set of the Night, and he said, "Yeah, your friends all crushed it. Joe Obama did really good." He called him Joe, and it was clear he just said it because he didn't know Mikey's name. But I was like, "Yeah, that's his name." I think I told him his name was. I should have not. I should have been like, "Yeah, just keep calling him that." Either Joe Obama or Mikey McDonald.
Yeah.
Just don't add a D because he hates that.
Oh, yeah, dude. If you add that D, you don't even look him up with the D.
Don't
add the D.
Because if you try and look up Mikey with the D, it takes you to a website of him, and he's like, "I'm in your face now. I'm in your fucking face now. You like this shit? I'm in your face now, bitch."
Yeah. It's like, I'm in your face, and here's the ingredients to meth.
Yeah, that's what I want to get a comedy website and just have it be aggressive. Just you come to it and it's just a picture of me and I'm like, "What's up, bitch?
Yeah.
I'm up in your shit now. I'm all up in your shit."
Your comedy title is, "I'm gonna fuck you up. I got a knife. I carry a knife. I'm one of those guys."
I'm one of those guys. I'm one of those fucking guys that thinks you need to carry around a knife.
All the motherfucking... When you were in school, in high school or whatever, did people used to just show you the new knives they bought?
Yeah. I had a knife
That
friend.
Shit was so badass.
I had a friend with a knife dad, which is a little different.
Stepdad or regular dad?
Regular dad. But he was like a rich guy, so they would go to like a knife shop in the valley and get some stupid blade that was like purple.
Purple blade?
Yeah.
You getting a pride blade? You get a rainbow blade?
Not me. No,
you would.
You know the ones where they look like it was like burned or something? I don't know. But they'd get those ones that were like different colors and shit.
Yeah. Welcome to Knife Talk.
I like the knife guys that are like, "Yeah, so this one's great because you can pop out the blade so quickly and it's really sturdy. So if you really stab into something, and you're like, okay, so you're just describing to me how this is good to kill a guy."
Yeah,
and I really want to tell you.
I texted my friend one time because it was the summer and I kept seeing like homeless guys like mugging and like getting in people's faces and shit. I was like, "What's a good knife for self-defense?" And my friend said, "None." He's like really into guns. He's like, unless you had like a gun that shoots knives or some shit, you're fucked.
That's not true.
Yeah, I don't know. He knows more than you. He's 6'8". He's like, don't use a knife.
Well, yeah, because in his mind, the debate is a gun better than a knife? And the answer is yes.
Oh,
but you don't want a gun. So if we're just talking just about knife versus no knife.
He was just like, knife, unless you can throw the knife. That's what he was saying. So it's all about velocity with this motherfucker.
I think knives are cool. Knives can come in handy.
I feel like knives are aesthetic.
Sometimes a knife...
I feel like a gun's a tool.
I feel like sometimes a knife is better than a gun for real close-range stuff. I don't know.
Yeah, if you're just, like, really fucked up and you, like, need to kill a motherfucker, yeah, knife's great. Like, you know, the knife guy in movies is, like... He's, like, cutting shit off people.
Don't people say, like, you can charge a guy with a gun, but... Like, you shouldn't charge a guy with a knife?
Duh.
Because you're like...
You're running into the knife.
Yeah, because you're entering his range. But with a gun, the closer you get, if you can kind of... Like, he might have a worse chance of kind of popping you.
Unless he's got a shotgun.
In
which case, you're all over the place.
Do not charge a shotgun. If you have a knife and a guy has a shotgun, don't be like, "I bet I can catch him off guard."
Yeah, you know,
even if he fires pointing downwards, you're gonna catch like 12 shells.
Yeah. Also, don't charge a guy with a Molotov cocktail.
No, you can charge a guy with a Molotov cocktail.
Don't charge a porcupine?
Don't charge out of your house at a guy with a Molotov cocktail.
Yeah.
But then again, he's going to throw it anyway, so I don't know. You might as well.
Then
I was fucking learning about the Troubles. Do you ever, learn about that?
No. Well, I just like this naive opinion I have that they were bad. That the IRA was bad and Britain was good.
Oh, that's what you believe? Do you take that stance because it's the stance that pisses people off?
No, I just love Great Britain.
Yeah.
I love the Queen, dude.
Oh, so, yeah, no, because that's the stance you like to take. Because when everything popped off with Palestine, you said, well, you go over there and they'll cut your head off and kick it around like a soccer ball. So yeah, even though you don't believe it, you do like to take really hard lined,
No. My take on Israel-Palestine was as long as they stay out of Great Britain.
Yeah.
As long as they do not touch the fucking Queen.
Yeah. You're a big loyalist. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm a monarchist, which just means you're a fascist.
Yeah, totally. It's such an insane thing to be nowadays.
Oh,
People
yeah.
being I was just learning about that because, there's all these motherfuckers over there, because it popped off because Britain wanted Northern Ireland and to cement, they were trying to rule all of Ireland, but to really cement...
Remember when this was a no history podcast?
Yeah, don't worry. This
better be getting funny.
There were all these motherfuckers that were Catholic in Ulster, and that pissed them off. So what they did was they got all these British people to go colonize Ireland and settle there. Don't fall asleep. To settle there just to further their colonial
mission.
mission.
Cooper homework right now.
And then those people have lived there for a couple hundred years, and now they're saying all this bullshit where they're like, well, the IRA killed civilians in my community, and it's you are there for the gayest reason possible. You are there to help Great Britain be bigger.
I like that you're I'm not going to talk about history, but if I throw in gay at the end, actually, if I throw in gay at the end, we might start getting some of those Shane Gillis watchers.
It actually makes it seem cool.
Yeah.
But no, they would all hate us. I think they would think this podcast is for faggots.
Oh.
We're gonna have a weird, if there's any fans of this, they're gonna suck and be gay. But that'll be great.
Are they? I mean,
yeah.
Maybe.
But I'm just saying, it's just so funny because it's not even
what's funny, if either of us got fans, then it would be two entirely different types of people.
Yeah, I mean, that's the hope. That's what you want.
Yeah. Oh, well, I guess that's true. Because if those people go to the podcast, then they're I'm pro Cooper or I'm pro Shane, and then the other guy is either gross or annoying.
What you want to have is a war between the two fans of a two-man podcast. You want to have a bunch of people being Shane's the only funny one, Cooper's gay, and then you want to have a bunch of people being I like Cooper's inclusions. It doesn't matter that he's not funny, and that's what hopefully the Reddit will look like. And
should we start a Reddit?
Good dialogue,
Yeah, should we start? Yeah, we'll start a Reddit and start trying to invade other Reddits.
Yeah, let's just make a place for people to come shit on us. That'll be good. No, we should do. Yeah, can you do that on Reddit? Can you try and take over a subreddit?
I think so. We should just start taking over like the politics subreddits.
Yeah, I was gonna say there's a people's movement in Mozambique or something, and then we're just listen to the Dagnabbit Boys, and we hijack a democratic movement.
Yeah, we're just hey, stop putting your money towards freedom fighting, start putting it towards our GoFundMe.
Yeah, we just become sort of a CIA type thing to get our podcast into different places.
They're just the Dagnabbit Boys are destabilizing governments.
Yeah, somehow we insert our podcast into a political campaign in Bangladesh, And we're oh shit, that guy killed 300,000 women and children. And then we have to talk about it on the pod and support him because he's our only sponsor. Our sponsor
and we're
today,
just not killing women and children is gay.
Our sponsor today is the militia leader, Jimmy Barbecue Shariza from Haiti. If you are interested in taking over a country, Haiti's a great place to start.
But what if we invent a new drug?
I just want to finish up on those. It's just so funny because those people in Ireland right now, they're not even people in Israel who at least can say, well, there was a Holocaust, that's why we came here.
Yeah.
A lot of things have changed in Israel since then. But I'm saying at least they can say, well, there was a Holocaust. These people are just oh, we're just here to take over Ireland.
Yeah.
And they're just this. It's the best part is they interview a dude in the IRA and they interview a dude in a reactionary fighting for Britain. But he's like a militia. The IRA guy, they're yeah, he killed 2 people in the British Royal Army. And then the fucking reactionary guy, they're like, he just killed 2 guys. He just killed 2 innocent civilians. And he's like, it was a crazy time. And he's like, I just had to do what I had to do. He's like, they killed a child.
Yeah.
And it's like, so did Great Britain.
He's just like, I had to kill the guy. The IRA tied my shoelaces together, and I tripped and shot a baby in the face.
I truly think if the IRA was just tying shoelaces together, leaving stink bombs, leaving whoopee cushions under seats, Britain still would have blown up Ireland. Like, they would have... I honestly think...
They just embarrassed the Queen so hard that we no longer have Ireland in the world.
Britain's such a bitch-ass country. Osama bin Laden could leave a stink bomb in London, and they'd be like, this is the greatest attack in the history of our nation.
Well, they blew up somebody blew up a subway. I don't remember.
Yeah, they do that shit. They blew up like a double-decker bus, which I think is so funny. It's like not cool, but it's very funny to blow up such a stupid invention. I fucking hate Britain. They literally have nothing going on over there.
Oh, they have like really smart intellectual comedy. They have like podcasts over here that's so much
dumbest
smarter.
comedy possible.
Oh, it's
like
so
the
smart.
Stupidest comedy.
You just don't get irony. You just don't understand irony, Cooper.
It's so
Have you seen The Office? Oh, man, The Office is so funny because he says, like, inappropriate shit.
So much of British comedy is just like, our Prime Minister approved us to exit the longest land agreement in Europe. Isn't that great? And then the crowd's like, we're laughing because it's not great. And they're like, aren't we fucking geniuses for not saying what we mean? And it's like, you just discovered... What, you're fluent in sarcasm?
Yeah.
That whole country's just fluent in sarcasm. I hate those motherfuckers. I've had 3 prime ministers in like a year.
It's so funny their edgy comedy is like Dice. It's still like, what if Dice was like a guy from like boarding school?
Yeah, I don't judge a nation off how it treats its poor citizens. I judge a nation off like what is the level of comedy happening in the nation.
100%.
And
100%.
We have a lot of people dying on the streets that are just infected with like the Black Plague, but I will say they are funnier than anyone in Great Britain.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
They understand what the comics of today are doing. Every homeless person on the street saw Dan Soder's new special.
Oh, I watched the first 10 minutes. It's really good.
It's really good.
Yeah.
They all saw it. And everybody
they all saw the first 10 minutes and then rushed over to come do a podcast with Cooper.
Yeah. Everybody in Great Britain saw Dan Soder's special and said, why isn't he talking about how our food is actually good? They just need to shut the fuck up. I hate them so much.
We're starting a war. We're going to start a guerrilla movement just to invade Britain. And it's like, this is payback for shit that you guys did like 400 years ago.
The Dagnabbit Reactionary Republic Army. We have to add reactionary to show that we're not technically a republic, an army of any republic. But we are reacting to events that we've seen, and we'd like to be involved. I mean, there's been a peace agreement.
Yeah. What about like the 2 Girls 1 Cup reactionary army? It's
so
just
like
a bunch of guys throwing up.
So instead of having like a reaction video, we actually gather a militia.
Yeah, and
to kill them? To kill those 2 women? To find those
I'm not saying we're gonna kill the 2 women in that.
Just saying,
in that film,
if we're building an army, we gotta go fucking kill those bitches.
Yeah.
Do you think there's anybody that saw that video and saw the 2?
It radicalized them?
Yeah, like saw 2 girls eating each other's shit and was just like, we should fucking kill those women.
Well, I just want to say, a lot less school shootings before that video.
Is that true? When did that come out? Because that came out
2004, probably.
No.
Let's look this up.
That came out when I was like in middle school.
I got a portable Jamie right here.
It was like 2012, I think.
All right, let's look this up.
I swear to God, it was 2012.
All right.
Maybe it came out earlier, but I saw it in 2012. It's also Soggy Waffle, Waffle.
2007. I was closer than you.
That was still Bush era.
Yeah. Bush probably saw the video.
I feel like all that stuff was a lot more fun when Bush was in office,
Mm-hmm.
You know? Have like a white guy that's like a dynasty guy. Like once Obama gets in office, it's like, you know, we got a black president. We're a cool country. We can shit in cups and eat it. Like, who cares? Is that bad to equate the first black president to shitting in a cup and eating? Probably. But
it's like really bad.
Yeah, it's like really bad. But
I don't know. Maybe we got the Shane Gillis guys on board.
I'm talking about the core element of freedom involved with both those acts.
Yeah.
And the ability to do whatever you want. And in that way, a black president and eating shit out of a cup are similar in their intentions, but not.
Yeah, I guess it does feel.
Not
as
in
soon
their
as
execution.
Obama gets into office, you're just like, this shit isn't even transgressive anymore.
As soon as Obama got in office, I said, well, I guess
his
anybody
first speech when he had a woman shit on his chest, I was like, oh, 2 girls, 1 cup is nothing.
Yeah, this
guy's sucking off his dog while getting shit on his chest.
Yeah, when he had old Big Mike next to him take out her big sloppy dick and then somehow shit out of it, and then he ate it during his inaugural address, I thought to myself,
this is 2 episodes in a row where we're talking about presidents eating shit.
This country's turned a corner. I mean, by the end of this podcast, I wanted to have talked about every single president eating a little bit of poop.
Oh, yeah?
Because everyone's hilarious if you think about it. Like Ronald.
Well, you know what?
Like, what about this? So when Ronald Reagan is like, Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall and watch me eat all this poop, and then he stands outside of the Berlin Wall eating a bunch of shit, I think Gorbachev would have been scared.
All right, what's another Ronald Reagan speech?
You don't know another Ronald Reagan speech.
I don't.
I mean, he said "Make America Great Again." That was his thing first, so he definitely
Yeah,
said
what
that.
about when JFK was like, all we have to fear is fear itself, and then he takes out a big log of shit and starts chewing on it to show that he's not scared of anything?
He's so not afraid. They're like, wow.
He's like, I don't even care.
And people back then were like, I was right. Catholics are disgusting. Well, a lot of people don't know
That's what the first president that eats poop is what they were talking about when they were mad about the Catholicism.
Well, when he was shot in the head, he was actually reaching down in the car to a bucket of shit, and he was going to eat handfuls of it in front of the crowd. And they knew that they couldn't have our leader, especially in the midst of everything going on with communism.
Especially not in Dallas.
Yeah, he couldn't show weakness. Not in Dallas.
Yeah.
Not in Dallas. Hey.
When the blood that you saw, like in the video, the red mist, it's actually like some really gross-ass poop.
It was gross-ass shit the whole time, actually. That is what people in like Texas and shit sound like when they're like, you don't do that stuff around here. To me, it does sound like they're saying, like, you come around here, you can't pee in a cup and drink it if you want. Because, like, whatever they're saying always means nothing to me, you know what I mean? It's always like,
it's
whatever they
like,
say, like, you can't do around here is always like, you can't go into a store and buy a Fanta or something.
Yeah.
Like, it's something, like, very innocuous.
It's so funny that they think, like, being gay is like, don't get up in my face and eat your own boogers and shit.
It's literally half the country. They think all of the LGBT community is just the people who are going to get in your face and sneeze or something.
They're just getting up the LGBT community is just getting up every morning and just throwing away deodorant.
All those motherfuckers do is just wake up and spread algae on their walls.
They're taking off dirty socks and throwing them in like a baby's face.
Yeah, all they think is just LGBTQ people just don't do their laundry. They just think we're the stinkiest.
They're trying to light showers on fire with the water on.
I don't want them in my bathrooms because they smell bad. I haven't met them, but I know they all eat poop. They rub poop on their armpits so they don't have to shave. Do you know that? Do you know that's what they do?
I was trying to write a joke that would never ever work. I tried doing it just about like when you first find out what gay is, which probably isn't true in California, but in Tennessee, I remember finding out what gay was on like in the like at recess, and just being like, huh, isn't that huh? That's interesting. And then later, some other kid called another kid gay as an insult. I remember being like, oh, it must be bad, I guess. And then I watched an episode of Family Guy that said it was fine to be gay. And then I was like, oh, who might argue with Brian and Stewie?
Oh, so that's when you became like a subtle political thinker, was respecting.
It's like Family Guy.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, maybe that's great.
I literally had an argument with my parents where it's like, how can being gay be wrong when Family Guy says it's fine?
I mean, as dumb as that is, it is nice that you were like, this is funny enough. The people writing this are cool.
Yeah.
They don't think gay is bad, so gay's probably not that, you know.
Yeah, it's probably not that. Like
Brian Simpson is a lot cooler than
King
the
of the
guy
Hill
at school.
radicalized me on trans people. I found out what trans was within the first minute of an episode of King of the Hill, and then found out it was okay by the end of it.
You followed the thought process of Hank Hill throughout the entire episode.
Where
you and him at first are both just like, I don't know.
I never heard of gay people before.
Yeah. Wow.
Or I've never heard of trans people before. And then a man wears women's clothing. I'm like, oh, so you can wear women's clothing and be a cool guy.
I think it's the same thing in California. You find out about gay that way. I think also, like, the funny thing about gay is even if you are gay, like, even as a guy like me that'll fuck dudes, when you first find out what gay is, it does seem fundamentally wrong. Because, like, you're young, and then like everybody is mostly talking about girls, and then somebody tells you like, oh, so you know how we like girls, and you're like, yeah, and they're like, so the thing with girls is the reason we like them is because they have a pussy and we have a penis, and penises go into pussies and they feel great, and you're like, oh, that makes total sense. And then you hear about gay, and it's like, yeah, penis goes into an asshole, and even as a 6-year-old kid, you're like, that's fucking disgusting.
I didn't know that a penis went into an asshole. I thought it was gay to like put your butt up against another guy.
Yeah, I don't know when I actually learned what gay sex was. I don't think you learn. I don't think most men actually learn until they're like 25, and before then they just
like
think it's
before you think it's always anal sex. You don't know it's like sucking dicks and kissing.
They just think it's like a log of shit going in and out of two asses.
I feel like if men found out actually what gay sex was when they first learned what gay was, they would hate it way more. To find out that guys are like kissing other guys and not just fucking them up the ass all the time, you'd be like so against like.
Like if you educated young men on like actual gay love, and like how intimacy is actually part of gay love and it's not just gross aggressive sex, they'd be pissed.
Oh yeah.
So they'd be like, wait, these guys aren't just getting their nut off, they're kissing these guys. It is something very funny where it's like, even sometimes when I'm hooking up with a dude, when I'm kissing a guy, I'm still like, ew, dude. Kissing a guy?
Yeah.
This is objectively worse than a woman. Sometimes
These
I don't know.
thin-ass lips.
Sometimes I wonder if I just have like a secret alt-right person in my head that's making me do gay stuff to formulate arguments as to why it's wrong. I wouldn't be surprised if in 10 years I'm just some horrific Christian man that like never speaks to you again.
Yeah, but you always have poop around your lips for some reason.
Yeah, I have a bunch
like, this is girl poop.
The straight guys walking down the street with shit all over their face, being like, a girl did this. A girl did this to me.
It's not gross, it's like girl poop.
Yeah. Yeah. Everybody gets mad because I do all these cum walks when I get on stage. I have a guy cum on my face, then I go on stage and talk about being gay, and I'm like, you're all homophobic because you don't like my material. Everybody's like, you're not even talking about gay stuff. You're talking about trash, but you're covered
my
in
man's
cum.
talking about McDonald's, talking about his hair's wet from all the cum.
My man's talking about McDonald's.
I've seen Cooper apply cum like makeup before he goes up at a show.
Yeah, I get like a little teardrop.
Yeah.
And I go up. Yeah, I just go up fully glazed and talk about Joe Biden.
Did you know like a teardrop tattoo, which just may not even be true, it could also mean you're like somebody's bitch in prison?
Is that true?
I don't know. But I've heard it.
That seems like the most confusing system ever.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Are you a vicious killer or a rape victim?
Oh, yeah.
Because for some reason, our dumbass prisoner minds made it the same symbol.
Oh, yeah. I remember there's a
Can you imagine you see a tough-ass dude with 4 teardrops and you're like, damn.
He had 4 boyfriends.
That guy has 4 boyfriends. You have so many boyfriends. Oh my god, you must be really popular.
You want to go watch the Barbie movie?
Yeah, you probably want to get treated to a nice date, you little serial monogamous.
There has to be, like, playgrounds now have to be full of people being like, oh, look, that kid's kind of feminine. He probably watches the Barbie movie, if you know what I mean.
Oh, is that how people are homophobic to children now?
Probably.
They say maybe they watch the Barbie movie.
Do you think, like, eventually kids have to stop being homophobic at some point? Probably not even now, but maybe in like 10 years. Maybe the next generation's not going to be homophobic.
I think like a lot of the kids, like I think most of the country is still teaching their kids that gay is bad or weird. But
well, I'll say...
honestly, no. I think most of the country is probably not even really telling their kids a lot about gay stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But especially in LA, like you think about like the amount of kids who have had like gay babysitters, gay family friends, gay people are just in their life. Like I had a gay uncle.
Yeah.
You know, it sucks, but you know, you get through it. But I honestly think nobody's teaching a lot of kids in LA to be homophobic. Like,
yeah.
They only do what is taught to them. And I don't think there's anybody going up to a kid in LA being like, don't be a faggot. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't think kids experience that anymore. So, like, all the stuff that kids naturally would be so mean about, I don't even think it's been told to them that, like, gay is in their arsenal.
I think bullying has kind of gone away. There was no bullying in my school.
All it takes is one kid on the schoolyard to be like, that's gay.
Oh,
and
yeah.
then the entire school, now they're all homophobic. Literally, like one kid when they're 5 years old could call something gay, and everyone,
it's like COVID.
Every one of those kids now has to do years of work to learn that gay is not bad. Like just in that one statement.
All it takes is like one stepdad.
Yeah, because that's how kids are. It's just like, well, You've decided the rules of life. Now what you've said is going to take 10 years to unpack and be cool. That is crazy. Like some kid could just call something gay at school, like you were talking about, and then like 10 years later, you have to learn how to love your friend. You know what I mean? Like you have to learn that your friend's a person.
Yeah.
Just because at 6 years old, some kid was like, no, you can't have juice. That's gay. There does need to be some kind of replacement for gay, because I do like the weird policing and rules that happen as a kid. I think it's important to either, learn about peer pressure and learn how to avoid it, or pick your battles. There just needs to be something. We shouldn't have the word gay because it's not good for homophobia, but there should be something of well, no, you can't drink that drink. That's the gay drink. But we need to call it, something like black or something. You know what I mean? No, but something, something different.
You think they're calling drinks trans and shit?
I mean, that would be crazy. That would be so crazy if just because that's more in vogue, that's what kids are doing now, being like. And
then in 15 years, people are like, you can't call stuff trans anymore. And then there's a bunch of people being like, I grew up saying stuff was trans. It's fine.
Yeah, there's a bunch of terrible podcasters like us in 10 years that just say trans instead of.
And there's
gay.
a trans person on the podcast being like, "That's how I grew up."
That's how I grew up.
Yeah. It's like water bottles are trans.
Yeah, right. I mean, I hope not. There's no ring to it. If that gets popular, it's purely out of hate. It's like, guys, that doesn't even sound good. Like, gay makes sense why we picked that up. Like, gay, it rolls off the tongue. But
yeah.
To just call stuff transgender because you don't like it. Like, what? You got a hot dog? That's transgender, dude.
Remember they were calling non-binary genderqueer?
Are those different things?
I don't know.
I think genderqueer is more of an umbrella term, and I think non-binary is sort of a subsection, because I think non-binary
it's like a subgenre of genderqueer.
Yeah, I think,
but nobody says genderqueer anymore. Really.
I think non-binary is you kind of decided that you like the they them, but if you're genderqueer, I think you could also be gender fluid, which is where sometimes you identify as a man, sometimes as a woman. And that's under genderqueer the same way non-binary is under genderqueer. And then also Satanist is under all of those, and nobody talks about it. Because in the LGBTQ, if you change around the letters, it spells Osama bin Laden. And, yeah, so people don't know that. I'm saying that as a pansexual, but I tried to join ISIS, and they don't let pansexuals in.
What if it turns into LGBTQIA 9/11?
People would be so mad if they added 9/11 to the acronym. If they somehow tried to act like 9/11 was a queer event. I'm going to post a Twitter
They're just
story.
people were killing themselves. It's pretty gay.
A lot of people don't know they were jumping out of the buildings because they couldn't get gender affirming surgeries. So they're
like, it's 2001 September 11th. You know, people haven't accepted us yet.
Yeah. I don't care that this building is burning. Yeah. No, a lot of people don't know that.
They would have done that anyway.
Everybody that...
it was actually a coincidence all those people jumped out of the towers.
Let's just say it clearly on our podcast so everybody knows our stance. Everybody who jumped out of the World Trade Center was trans. And everybody that died in the World Trade Center, that was a loss of trans life. And they did it because we don't have a society that supports them, and it leads to a lot of mental health issues.
Yeah.
And the hijackers were trans.
Yeah.
Or no, actually, the hijackers were homophobic, and they knew that building...
the hijackers were poly.
The hijackers were poly, also homophobic though. They're straight poly homophobes, and they knew the World Trade Center was full of 2,000 beautiful trans financiers.
It's so funny that we turned the word player into poly, because we know straight guys that do poly stuff, but their wife doesn't. We know at least one, and it's so funny. It's just yeah, I'm like the sophisticated type of player. I'm a sophisticated pimp.
Yeah, I hate it so much.
I think it's badass. That don't act like that's not every man's dream is to have a woman be like, you could fuck any woman you want, but I love you also.
Well, the real
but it's not a realistic thing.
But the real trick is she doesn't love you at all.
Yeah?
And she doesn't respect you. And
that's what sucks.
She doesn't
is
care
when you
about...
start adding up reality, fantasies, they have no play.
Fantasies
are nothing like reality.
If you really start breaking down brass tacks what the agreements of your life are, poly doesn't fit into any one that makes sense. Literally, having more than one partner while you are in a committed relationship is reserved for the rich and evil.
Yeah.
And we should keep it that way. And there are a couple people that are so fucking rich and they have a wife that, like, you know, is kind of begrudgingly, but not that much because she's fucking rich, accepting the deal of, like, I'll come home and we have a normal relationship, and then I go out on the road as a famous comic, and then I fuck high-class escorts, and then I come home. And it's like, that is a gross but realistic system. It's like, there's a lot of obvious sadness to that. That's like, damn, you can't just be happy with your own wife. But it's like, that's a guy who's not lying about anything.
Yeah.
And he's also not telling people because it's not something you tell people. So he's not lying when he's not bringing it up.
I don't know. I've heard people tell me that.
Well, I mean, people talk about it, for sure. But, like, you know, guys that really...
And it's so easy to start a rumor. People do that.
Oh, of course.
I love starting rumors.
I just like guys that just do it and don't talk about it because they're like,
dude,
it's gross,
if you ever
dude.
get successful and you have a wife, I'm telling everybody that's what you do.
Yeah, that would really hurt my life. It would probably lead to massive issues with my marriage.
It would be so funny, dude.
And if I'm successful, you're probably also successful. It's probably from this. So you have to think, like, don't. You
think this is probably how we're gonna be successful, not our stand-up? You think we're better at this than stand-up? I don't think so.
I don't know. I try really hard at stand-up, and everybody fucking hates it. So
no, I think people like it.
But I don't know. I guess it is funny to think this would be successful.
But wait, what was I gonna...
Oh, we haven't talked about it yet, but we have a new real estate acquisition.
Oh, yeah, we got to talk about that.
This was your idea. You texted me at 3 p.m. randomly and said, hey, I started a GoFundMe to buy a $4 million house off of Sunset Boulevard above the Comedy Store.
Yeah.
Can you repost this GoFundMe?
Yeah.
Has anyone given money to it?
I don't know. People told me they have.
Okay.
So let me check. I honestly don't even know if you can accept money.
How long can you keep a GoFundMe up for?
I don't know.
Because I know that they usually say 60 days, but what if we just keep the GoFundMe up for, like, as long as the podcast exists?
Yeah.
And so, like, if it were to become successful, we could maybe eventually get over $1,000 and then spend it on something?
I don't think we get the money if it doesn't. But if we do, we could do something.
If we don't get the money.
Yeah.
If it doesn't reach $4 million, I will sue GoFundMe. If we're given $30 as a gag and then GoFundMe says you don't get it, I will take it to the Supreme Court.
Oh, yeah.
Because that's our down payment.
And you're gay. So they have to give you money.
We should actually call that realtor. Because you can just call all those realtors, you know.
Do you think we should make a video of us doing, like, a walkthrough in the house?
Yes. Yeah, I mean, God, why aren't we going? It's for sale. You can go into any house for sale. You can go into them almost as much as you want. Now, the thing is, the second we walk in, they're going to be so mad. Because it is Hollywood, so maybe they'd assume we're, like, video game streamers.
Oh, yeah.
That's the only job me and you could have that could buy that house. But... yeah, doing a walkthrough...
I don't know. Maybe people could look at us and be like, these are like Sean Connery's grandsons or something.
Do you think they would let us wear GoPros on our heads? Are you allowed to do that in a real estate walkthrough? I wonder if they're like, no, you can't film it.
Why, though? It's like we're going to record all the bloodstains and shit.
It would just be fun to do a walkthrough and just ask the realtor weird questions and stuff.
Yeah.
And just be like, you know...
is this the room Sam Kinison died in?
Has anyone pissing shit in this bathroom?
Yeah.
Nobody's taken a shit in this toilet, right?
Yeah. Is it true the Noid used to live here from Domino's?
Did the Noid from Domino's live here? Just tell me, bitch.
Did the Noid jack off to scat porn in this home office you're showing me?
Will this house give me the ability to avoid the Noid?
Yeah.
That's why I'm moving
soundproof?
up here.
I don't want to have to listen to the outside. I don't want to hear outside shit.
If homeless people come up here, can I kill them? Am I allowed to kill them if I own this house? All right.
Yeah.
Well,
if I could invent a kiss that kills homeless people, would that, like...
A kiss.
If I like kissed a homeless person the right way and it killed him.
Yeah, let's just start asking him crazy questions. Just be like, if I walked past a homeless guy and then I kissed him and he died, is that my fault?
Yeah. Am I allowed to have the house if I promise to stock it with thousands of copies of the Kama Sutra?
And she's like, so this is a Toto washlet, and I'm like, shut up. Just shut up.
I'm just pointing at the ground like, what is this shit?
What is that?
What is up with this? I keep seeing this.
Why is there no dirt?
Where is the grass?
What'd you put all these squares of stone on the ground for? Blocking me from the precious dirt I'm buying with this house.
And you're pointing up, you're like, where's the sun? Hey, with $4 million, I can't see the sun.
Why'd it change in here? We were outside and I could hear things and feel wind.
We're pointing at the toilet like, what is this?
I ain't touching that shit.
This shit is gross.
You know what'd be funny is
I will give you it for $3 million if you take this shit out of here.
You know what we need to do is do a walkthrough and then see how little we could see of the house. To like go through, and she's like, all right, I'll show you the kitchen. And we're like, nah, I don't need to see that shit.
We should bring in one of those huge checks that says $30 on it. And we're like, this is my down payment.
What about this? Me and you go. Maybe they'll just think we're gay guys. So maybe we go, and then they're like, okay, we'll show you the living room. And we go, no. We just want to see the bedroom. And then they take us up to the master bedroom, and we just go, oh, yeah. This will be perfect. Yeah. We'll be in touch. And
us
then
being
leave.
a gay couple, though, they would look at us and be like, "Those guys have to have like $4 million." There's no way these two gay guys in LA with no money.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, because we wouldn't make sense as a gay couple. So they'd be like, "Why are these two weird-looking gay? Why are they together?" And it's like, "Oh, they must be a strong business partnership." The way only two men could conceive of such.
Why don't we make sense as a gay couple, though?
I don't know. Just from other gay couples I've seen, it doesn't add up. Also,
one of us would need to be overweight, I think.
You would have to tweak yourself. Like, you could act pretty much the way you act, but you'd have to tweak something to be gay.
One thing I noticed,
like if you threw on a ring, you could be, like even that, just like
I noticed out here. So I do that joke where I say I came out as gay to my dad, and then it's like in his opinion. But before in like the South, that would get a big applause that I came out as my dad is gay. When I moved out here, everybody could just smell that I'm not gay off of me.
Yeah,
they just know, dude.
Yeah, no, a lot of people here like. They don't really have good gaydar. They just have good, like, oh, what's a stereotypical, like, Uncle Tom gay guy, And that's, like, what they know. And then anytime they see anyone else, they're just like, I know you're not fucking gay. And they hate you. They get very mad.
Yeah. They're like, you don't even have an earring in the gay ear.
I think they get the most mad at me because they're like, well, you do gay stuff. Why don't you act the way we want you to act?
Yeah. Why is the only gay thing you do is apply like makeup?
Like the funniest thing is the biggest pressure I feel about my own sexuality is from liberal white women.
Yeah.
Who are just like, be a faggot. That's what I know and want you to be. Stop acting that way and being gay. You don't fit into the stereotype. Because they love it.
Yeah.
They're the harbingers of stereotypes and like, just,
Isn't it funny they had the F slur hag? I feel like people still use that.
The what?
F word hag? Like for a woman that's like friends with with a bunch of gay guys.
Gay guys use it, I guess.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah. But yeah, women will use it too. There's a lot of women that just
hag is such a like I'm just imagining like a witch, when I hear hag.
Yes.
So it's like, huh.
Yeah, a lot of women will hang out with gay guys long enough they just start thinking they can just like say anything.
Oh yeah.
Because women are the greatest harbingers of racism and stereotypes and
they start hanging out with gay
speech.
Guys, they start saying the N-word.
Yeah. Women are like the rats that carried the fleas that had the Black Plague. Is they just carry around all them. They just carry
My gay
around.
Co-host is calling women rats.
Yeah, they just carry around homophobia and stereotypes and like all these things people have to fit into, and then just with their hotness, they disseminate it to the world and infect everybody with their homophobia.
Yeah, especially in Skid Row.
Yeah.
Women get gay friends and then go to Skid Row and give them the Black Plague.
Yeah, women actually invented prejudice. Not a lot of people know that. That's a stance that this podcast takes. Is that women who invented prejudice.
Yeah, the podcast takes the stance, women are not outlaws.
Well, because women are always known as obviously having a greater intuitive sense than men. You know what I mean? They are better at talking to each other, sharing information, using logic to keep oneself safe. And that naturally leads to racism and prejudice because you're picking up on patterns and things. So really, women talk about, protecting each other with like talking about dangers. But when women get together and talk about the dangerous world, all they do is just get together and go, I saw a black guy today. And they're horrible. Every single woman is a horrible racist. Nobody knows that. And these are the facts. This is the truth. It's undeniable. There are studies from guys I know.
Oh, something I want to talk about. So a woman came to visit me from Canada.
Right.
And I remember thinking it was so funny. She stayed in downtown LA, and which is the one place I told her not to stay. And she walked to Skid Row by accident, and she high-fived a guy smoking meth. And then I took her to Hollywood Boulevard, and she was way more scared of Hollywood Boulevard than Skid Row.
Yeah. Skid Row, just because it's been an area of LA that was like so specifically designated as this is where homeless and crazy people go.
Yeah.
People live there for longer.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think there's less of a chance that homeless people are just going to attack a civilian walking through because they're like, that will bring maybe unwanted attention to this area if it's too violent for people to walk around. But in Hollywood, they get kicked out all the time. Cops are giving them shit all the time.
Yeah.
Everybody on any homeless person on Hollywood Boulevard is out of their fucking mind. Like,
oh, yeah.
They're fully, like, because imagine you're homeless, you have nowhere to go, and you're like, I'll go to the place with all the lights and people. And I'll just be there all the time.
Well, it's funny that not even, like, sometimes you'll see a guy who clearly isn't homeless, but he just has a gun and body armor on.
Yes. Like the security guards? Like
no, not even security guards. Just, like, scary-looking guys that sit in the shadows. Have you seen these guys? They, like, stand in the shadows, and they have body armor, all sorts of pepper spray and shit, but they aren't security guards.
Oh, they're just vigilantes?
Kinda, yeah.
That's what they are, right? I mean, if that's happening, are you sure these guys aren't just standing outside of businesses as security guards?
No, this guy was up against a wall. I'm talking about one specific guy I saw, and he was standing up against a wall.
Yeah, that's probably just one of those fucking losers that's like, LA's not safe, I'm gonna clean it up. And it's like, dude, you're just like an incel and you bought a gun online or something.
Yeah, just Travis Bickle.
Yeah, it's just another Travis Bickle. That's all it is. I hate that motherfucker that goes around LA and graffitis. Make sure you put it away from your mouth.
Oh, yeah.
I hate that motherfucker that goes away. He goes around LA and he graffitis LA is not safe in different areas. And it's like, yeah, don't move to a place where people are doing stuff. If there's a city with a huge economy, there's also a chance that it's wildly violent.
It's pretty reasonably. It's pretty reasonably.
It's also safe.
Yeah.
LA is also safe.
It depends if you're in your car, it's safe.
Just don't go to unsafe areas.
I feel like if you walk around LA, I'll say versus like some other big cities I've been to, it's definitely less safe. Even cities with higher crime rates, but like it's also like pretty reasonable.
I think it's like more just wild than it.
Yeah.
Like I've never had anybody mug me or anything. Like
I've had people try to like get into my car and stuff, like in nice areas. I'll say the average area in LA is worse than the average area in other cities I've been to.
Sure.
But that doesn't necessarily mean it's like out of control and safe.
Well, it's also just like you have a bunch of fucking people in here.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Even if we didn't have a homeless
but versus
problem,
like New York, it's like New York's a little bit more reasonable, I feel like.
Well, people are just around each other more, so there's more of a social like etiquette of walking around each other and
I'm
stuff.
not saying in LA isn't safe, but I am saying that if you're going by like the metrics of safety, and if you don't have a car, that's a huge difference.
Yeah.
If you have a car, it's like, well, it's about as safe as most big cities.
I was fucking leaving the Comedy Store the other day, and there was like a young hot girl in like a cocktail dress, and she must have just been hammered because she just tried to get into my car. She thought it was an Uber, and it's just one of those moments where you just want to be like, just so you know, Sunset is a humongous area for kidnapping women and sex trafficking. This right where you are is people are putting trackers on cars nightly. Like, this is a very dangerous area for women to be picked up and shipped off. Like,
oh yeah,
it happens all the time on Sunset Boulevard.
I mean, it's one of the biggest this might be the biggest human trafficking area in America.
Like, literally, she is trying to open a stranger's car in the capital of like slave rape. Like,
yeah,
it's
I mean,
crazy.
in terms, it's here in Miami have the most. I don't know if it's the most like I don't know if it's the most in terms of density, because like DC or Atlanta or something, you can make an argument being bigger for human trafficking, but it's definitely the most is going through here.
Yeah, it's so funny how there's so many like drunk hot women out there, and then you just got one that's just alone. And I already saw her, and she was standing there alone. And even in my head, I was like, well, I mean, it's 8 p.m.
You think like
great.
The guys that are like addicted to fucking human trafficked prostitutes see like a really hot woman or like picked her up on Sunset. That's a Los Angeles slave right there.
Oh, like they're connoisseurs of it?
Yeah, they're
like
connoisseurs. They're like tasting the pussy. Like, that's an LA girl.
I thought you were gonna say they see hot girls and they're like, oh, I'd love to fuck her, but she's free. Nothing attractive about a lady that can go home for me.
There's nothing attractive about a woman with all her fingers.
Nothing.
She said no too many times, so they chopped off a finger. That's the type of shit that gets me hard.
I don't want to have sex with her. She's not covered in dirt and sweat. That's my whole
That's
thing.
so funny. If you're addicted to prostitutes, you are a rapist. Like, you are. You can't even. If you've ever heard of human trafficking and you have sex with prostitutes, you're a rapist.
Yeah, I mean, kind of, right? Like,
yeah.
There is something like, like going and paying a woman for sex is not inherently wrong. A lot of times now there's just sort of freelance women that aren't.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, like if you're a guy that is addicted to prostitutes.
Oh, yeah.
Like, there's no way you're not a bad person.
Oh, 100%.
It's interesting, subtle lines we have where, like, a lot of people now are like, sex trafficking isn't bad, but we all agree that if you do it, like, once a week.
If you meet a certain IQ and you still visit prostitutes, you should probably be executed.
Yeah, if you hit your quota, you gotta leave.
Oh, yeah. You gotta leave the world.
I hate guys that are addicted to prostitutes because they just have the logic of like, well, we all like sex, right? And
yeah.
We're like, yeah, but some of us are like human.
I heard there was a podcast with a guy who's an LA writer out here talking about how he's addicted to prostitutes. I only listened to the first 10 minutes, and he goes, well, having sex with me isn't the worst job you could do. And it's like, man, fuck you, dude. And he was also talking about how one woman like hated him, but he still had sex with her. And it's like, you're fucking women that hate you. Hating you is the opposite of consent.
Yeah, why'd she hate him?
She just like saw him and hated him.
Yeah, it's very funny to be like, well, this lady hates me, but I gave her $100, so we're all well and good.
She probably
and you're
likes
like,
me now.
Okay, yeah, I guess this lady's not going to say that you raped her because you did fulfill the financial agreement, but you're fucking people that hate you.
Yeah.
You hate yourself.
Yeah.
Like, it's so... I hate guys that do crazy stuff where they're like addicted to prostitutes and then their explanation is like, well, fucking me ain't the word. It's like, don't fucking give me a limerick. You're addicted to whores. Like, your life is awful. I don't even know you, and your life sounds horrible to me.
Oh, yeah.
As a guy that gets no pussy, I'd rather
I could meet this writer guy if I wanted to. His roommate works for him. My roommate works for him.
So he's just like a new gay-ass Bret Easton Ellis type?
No, he's more like he's trying to be like a Bukowski type of guy.
Oh, that's great in 2024
to
try and be Charles Bukowski. Yeah.
He's also more Chuck Palahniuk than Bret Easton Ellis.
Okay.
So he's worse. He's imitating worse Bret Easton Ellis.
Did Chuck do Fight Club? Is
yeah.
that his book? Okay, I didn't read that, but okay.
Fight Club's bad.
That's his
Actually,
thing.
he's Chuck Palahniuk. He's an okay writer. He's like okay.
Yeah, we don't need a shit on Chuck.
Yeah, no. Yeah, Chuck, you want to get on the podcast? You're perfect. It's 100%. You're perfectly allowed to.
Are you getting more into this like LA literature scene, the poetry and stuff?
Not really. They asked the people we talked about in the first episode asked to be on the podcast.
Right.
Yeah.
I saw that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So I don't know. We don't have enough mics though.
Yeah.
If we wanted to get a guest, like. Well, we need like a cord or something?
Yeah.
Okay. I guess we got to get a cord. I might just order one off Amazon or something.
Who do you want to have on?
I don't know. Let's see. I don't know. We need to have. Well, we got a character we talked about.
Because I don't know those girls, but when they did DM the podcast account and said, "Can we come on the podcast?" I wanted to respond and be like, "No."
They're nice. I don't know.
I'm sure
she
they're
said
nice.
she
We're
said
nice.
she wasn't mad about it. I don't know.
That's
though.
good.
Yeah.
You really should get into that scene because I think like you could really infiltrate that scene as like the cool gross guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like all like the hot artistic people love to have some guy that like and really say gross shit all the time.
Oh
you know?
yeah.
Like just like you show up to the poetry reading and you're like, "What's up, Shane? What you up to?" And you're like, "Fucking eating poop." And then they'll be like, "Whoa, he's like Bret Easton Ellis. He eats poop."
Yeah, he's like Marquis de Sade. He's a disgusting fuck.
What's like the new Gen X thing of not giving a fuck? I feel like we have to
Gen
up it.
Z?
But Gen X, like they didn't give a fuck. That was their whole thing.
Gen Z whole thing is giving a fuck though.
I know. So
it kind of cycles through generations.
Yeah, totally.
Well, actually, maybe not because it's like Gen X didn't give a fuck, Millennials gave a fuck, and Gen Z we kind of don't give a fuck.
Yeah, we don't give a fuck, but I don't think we've fully seen that Gen Z could actually end up being pretty cool.
Yeah.
Because I think if you look at the brass tacks of Gen Z, we don't give a fuck about a lot of the fake stuff that millennials invented, like all these words they invented.
Yeah.
But like we do give a fuck about like generally respecting people for the most part.
Yeah. Well, we're kind of rebelling against our I didn't have millennial parents.
I mean, it's definitely a big fuck you to old people, which I think is good for any generation, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like
I'll say, well, we're not saying fuck you to our parents. We're more saying fuck you to like our friends, you know, like the millennials we know that are like 30 and like go on vacation to the Bahamas because they still like, they have rich parents and shit.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, really, what an annoying fucking generation.
Oh, yeah, the worst generation possibly.
Probably the worst, right?
And we're young enough that we can say millennials are the worst generation and nobody's going to be like, these guys are losers.
Like, in terms of, like, getting the least done, being the most annoying about it.
Oh, yeah.
Like, literally just such utter failures. I mean, like, there's the Hillary campaign is such, like, just the epitome of millennial culture of, like, in its core, a good idea.
Yeah.
And then somehow making it the least appealing thing possible. Only through your own pretension.
Yeah.
Of just like, wow, you could have had the first female president and you guys were such cunts about it.
Yeah.
That you let a guy who's objectively worse to be around and ruder seem cooler.
Oh,
That's crazy. How shitty. And it's like, I still voted for Hillary. I didn't really think Trump was cool, but it's like, then you step back and you're like, God, you really put forward the most annoying person possible and equipped her with all these gay-ass millennial jokes to try and get it done.
If she tried to be president now, she'd be like, Epstein didn't kill himself.
Yeah. I mean, probably least funny generation in terms of comedy put forward.
Oh, absolutely.
Like absolute trash.
Oh, garbage.
I mean, like, I Think You Should Leave is very funny.
Mm-hmm.
That's millennial. That's solid. You know, I like the comedy of a lot of millennial guys, like, you know, Stavros is Shane Gillis, like that group of guys that are millennials are good.
Nick Mullen,
you know, those are millennials. Like, I think that's cool.
Those are all guys that are going against the millennial mold, though.
Yeah, they're sort of steering forward. Honestly, they act...
Stav kind of fits into the millennial thing, though.
They all act a little more like Gen Z.
Yeah.
Because, all millennials, like, their biggest comedy sensation was, like, on Twitter talking about mustaches.
Yeah.
Like, that was one of the funniest things to them. Grown adults, which we really don't talk about, that they should truly be shamed as a generation for, like, those kids were our age, and the funniest thing to them was, like, a mustache.
Yeah.
And it's like, I'm sure Gen Z has a lot of dumb stuff, but, like, we hate ourselves.
Yeah.
So a lot of our stuff that's embarrassing, or people are like, how could you do that? It's like, everybody fucking hates ourselves.
Well, even millennials had a much higher quality of life than we do.
Yeah, but then with millennials, it's like, you guys are generally unironically laughing at a mustache.
You can say the word, I can't.
Yeah, they're faggots. But it's like
Yeah.
they all have... every millennial I've met, honestly, for the most part, doesn't realize they have the same humor as their mom. They're just younger. Like, every millennial you meet is just like... They're just like making wine jokes. Like, that's all millennials do. Just being... You know, like the mommy juice joke for wine and being like, mommy needs her mommy juice. That's all millennial jokes.
Oh, yeah.
That's all they do. Is just like, oh, I need my coffee. I gotta have this. I gotta... And it, like... God, they really do suck as a generation. Like, they're so annoying.
A lot of the millennial, like, right-wingers, they love the fucking Gen Z because Gen Z is more willing to fuck around.
Yeah.
I think that we're more, we're apt more for being radicalized by, like, evil people.
Definitely. I mean, we're dumb and very influenced and like.
And we just have, like, as I said, we have a poorer quality of life. Which, if you have a pretty bad quality for life, you're like, maybe a monarch's a good idea. Mm-hmm. Like a fucking idiot.
Yeah, but I think you also have a lot more Gen Z kids that are kind of based. You know, where like I was just at Easter yesterday, just talking about like Epstein and stuff, and everybody was like, "What?" You know what I mean? But I don't know. But like every Gen Z kid you talk to, like thinks the government did 9/11, like knows the CIA is just like a worldwide terrorist organization, does not buy this Israel bullshit. Yeah, almost every Gen Z kid you talk to is like fully disagrees with their liberal parents and are like, no, you guys are actually... Yeah. Do you
think in New York there's more people that are pro-Israel? Like more people that we would know?
Yeah, I mean, there's a ton of pro-Israel Gen Z kids out here because there's tons of like Jewish and Israeli kids.
But I don't know. The only people I know like two.
You just don't know them. But the Valley is full. The Valley is full of the Valley's full of Zionists. Yeah. So the Valley's very like.
There's
Zionist.
A couple people I know in comedy that are probably pro-Israel. Yeah. And I know that because they haven't posted about it, and they're like rich Jewish women, you know. Yeah. And they're probably pro-Israel. Yeah. Like, but they know not to say it.
Yeah. Well, I think millennials are just the kind of generation that's like, well, Israel is obviously good. And then I feel like Gen Z is a generation that's like, well, Netanyahu doesn't care about the lives of Jewish or Israeli people. He just wants to kill Palestine. He needs Hamas. He wants Hamas to exist and do these terror attacks so he can keep killing all these people and push forward his belief that Palestine should just be rubble. Mm. And then you tell millennials that and they get uncomfortable. Like, they're squeamish people.
Do you think you could live in rubble?
Oh, dude, I'd kill it.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we need to be the rubble generation.
Yeah, honestly, this podcast would be great if we
podcast is pro-rubble.
Yeah, it's pro-rubble. Russia, come at us.
If we started, like, just going up to Skid Row and just collecting rubble and bringing it to our apartment.
Oh, like, that's how we build the studio?
It's just full of rubble.
It's like rebarb and concrete and blood. Yeah, that'd be great.
We're just going into New Mexico and finding, like, fucking just things that have been destroyed by nuclear bombs. Yeah. We got some irradiated rubble. That's the top tier rubble.
Oh, shit. This stuff is going to be toxic for 3 million years. Let's bring it into my apartment. Hey, I got some rods.
I give all my roommates cancer bringing home rubble.
I got some cooling rods from Chernobyl. This is going to be pretty cool to keep in the apartment, guys.
I just brought the elephant toe into the middle of my living room. I'm just telling them not to look in it.
Fellas, we got the elephant's foot. Just don't go to that corner of the room. I know it looks
don't look at it. Don't. Hey, here's a mirror if you want to look at it.
I know it looks all blurry and shit. Don't worry. Yeah, that's a millennial.
I'm just wearing sunglasses inside because we have the elephant toe.
I have to wear sunglasses inside because I have the elephant's toe in my apartment.
I replace all of my roommates with vagrants that live in Chernobyl.
Yeah. Would it be fucked up if you started a homeless shelter, but the homeless shelter was... Make sure it's away from your mouth when you do those mouth sounds, because people... If you do it near the mic, people start jacking off and pretending you're sucking their dick. So don't give them mouth sounds. Damn. But would it be fucked up if we started if we started a homeless shelter that was fully radioactive? Would people be upset at us if we were providing food?
Yeah, the Fantastic Four. We create the Fantastic Four, but they're just eating out of the garbage.
Yeah,
Mr. Stretch is just grabbing women's asses while shitting on the street.
It would be bad if the Fantastic Four were homeless. They'd be menaces to the society.
Oh, yeah, you already see homeless guys on fire out in L.A. Imagine if there was one that could just turn it on.
Dude, if homeless dudes had the power to be on fire, they would be on fire 24/7. Go up to any homeless guy and be like, would you like to be made of flames? They'd be like, hell yes.
A homeless guy walks up to you and he's like, can I bum a cigarette? And then you give him one and he turns on fire to light it.
Or you say no and he's like... Those guys would be fucking torching up all the time. It would be a major issue. Be trying to go into Ralph's and be like, I'm sorry, I don't have anything, and then you're getting chased by a fire guy.
Yeah. It's like you're complaining about, like, I hear all the helicopters in my neighborhood and all the flying bitches.
Yeah.
All the flying homeless bitches.
Oh my god, that'd be terrible if homeless women could fly. They'd just be flying around like, he fucking fucked my mouth! He fucked my mouth!
Just flying around going, I have COVID and HIV.
I saw a homeless woman on the street yelling about Jewish propaganda yesterday. She was like, they own all the media companies.
Did she say Jewish people or did you just assume?
Well, because then she started talking about Israel. And she was like, Israel, they own all the media companies and they're killing tons of kids in Palestine. And it was kind of funny because I wanted to be
if right-wing people weren't so scared of big cities, they would love the homeless.
Oh, my God.
They'd be like, these guys are so based.
Yeah, they agree with the homeless. Right-wing people don't know. They agree with most of what the homeless have to say.
Oh, yeah.
They think they don't like the homeless. They agree on most all things.
Well, the homeless are just saying what they're thinking. Because the homeless see a gay person and yell out the F slur. And that's just what right-wing people are thinking.
Yeah, that is true. Right-wing people always say they like a guy that tells it how it is. And you can
but they hate a guy who lives in rubble.
And you can have a beer with, and it's like you're describing a homeless guy. Everything right-wing people describe is like, I just want a guy that isn't held down and says what he means and doesn't give a fuck. It's like, that's a homeless guy. You're fully describing a homeless guy. Nobody with a job acts like that. But
what is the name of the thing from Fantastic Four?
The rock guy.
Yeah. What a homeless the thing, but he's made out of copper wire.
Those motherfuckers would just be taking up the whole sidewalk. They wouldn't even do anything.
He's lifting up cars just to take the catalytic converter out.
They'd be the thing and not even improve their life. They'd be the thing and just like sleep on the ground and be like, "You're taking up 30 feet, brother. Come on, man."
Dude, how fucked up would it be? It would be the smash and grabs if it was the thing.
Oh,
he would break the whole fucking door.
Just punching through a
You go back to your car after you parked on the street and the thing is sleeping inside of your car.
Yeah, he's trying to put lotion on his rock body.
There's a naked the thing putting lotion on his dick.
Yeah, man, dude. If homeless guys were the thing and fantastic, you would just see a bunch of homeless guys made of rock and fire jacking off. It'd be fucking terrifying.
He shoots a cum wad and it immediately just fucking melts.
There's a homeless guy near me that's like building a train of some kind.
That's the thing. Another thing with right-wing people. That's just a small business right there.
Yeah, he's trying to build a...
He's a construction worker.
This dude's got a whole caravan. He has a golf cart that's like packed to the brim with shit. And then it somehow has a trailer on it that I swear to God is like 25 feet long. And it's covered with a tarp, and the tarp is covered with conspiratorial ideas that he has. And he just fucking gets in everybody's way and goes like a mile down the street. And it's so funny because it's like, you want to help that guy, but you also want to be like, hey man, if you want help, you need to stop building an empire of trash, okay? You have so much trash. Because he doesn't own anything. It's all trash. You know what I mean? It's like, it's all just shit he picked up. So this guy's got literally 40 feet of trash that he's like spending probably most of his energy to transport around. And it's like, dude.
To be homeless, you just have to be a guy that's like, I love trash.
To be?
He's just what I pretend to be.
To honestly, yes. Like, that guy is the grossest guy ever. Like, to crush it as a homeless guy, you do have to want to be the king of trash. And he's the king of trash. And, like...
I probably talked about this in the podcast before, but one of my roommates, he jogs, and he jogged past, like, a bridge, like, near Silver Lake, and the homeless people were just cuddling with rats.
Oh, you told me that. Yeah, you told me that. Well, that's actually... I said the same thing about that I'm going to say about this train thing, is that it's not a good look for the city when homeless people are doing cartoonishly homeless things, such as cuddling with rats and building 30 long...
I mean, conservatives always talk about how fucked up it is in San Francisco, but, like, the LA homeless literally tried to burn down the freeway here.
Yeah, that's so funny.
they're like the problem's so bad that they're just trying to destroy the infrastructure of the city.
Yeah, which, I get it. You're pissed off. I get it, wanting to burn down a freeway.
I mean, that's the most base shit you could do.
It's so sick to burn down a freeway. It's also impossible, which I think is great. I love the shit homeless people do where they're like, we're going to burn down the freeway. And you're like, it's made of concrete, guys. It's made of concrete. You cannot burn a freeway. They
closed down the freeway for like 3 days.
Homeless people have been out of the loop for so long. They think freeways are made of fucking wood. They don't even.
They think freeways are made of water, and they're trying to evaporate the shit.
They ain't heard of concrete yet, those motherfuckers. Yeah,
homeless people still live in like Grapes of Wrath type shit.
Yeah. I mean, really, some of the tactics being used, just burning up the shanty town and shit. But yeah, man, that guy with the trash train, it's just like, it's like, all right, so you're committed.
Yeah.
Like, you're out here. Like, this is it for you. Because you've acquired too many things to go inside. He has too much stuff. He has so much stuff that if you got him this apartment we're in, he wouldn't have enough room for all his stuff.
It's so funny to be a hoarder but live on the street where you have unlimited space.
I think it's so interesting, when homeless
Eventually,
guys...
what if a guy that was so good at being homeless, he covered the whole world in trash?
Yeah, so it's actually his... Maybe that's what that guy's trying to do. He's like, if I can get this train to circle the world, then I will have a home. Then I will be a boarder. Maybe that's what he's trying to do. Maybe he's trying to be like those kings that had castles next to rivers, and he's going to try and like be the troll of Beverly, and you got to pay a tax or something of like half a shoe or whatever he wants.
I don't know if it was San Francisco or LA. It was one of these California cities. There was a homeless guy that would walk around calling himself the king, and everybody knew him. So like they like put king on his gravestone.
Yeah, I think I have heard of that.
Is that LA or is that San Francisco?
I think I just heard of it online, so I don't. It sounds more San Francisco, definitely. In LA, nobody would give a fuck about that guy.
Oh yeah.
Like in San Fran, I could see that being a thing. In LA, a guy calling himself the king, people would just shoot him. They would just kill him. I think he would just have been killed. All right. Well.
Yeah. Oh, I think we're about at the good time to stop.
Yeah, I told somebody we did 2 hours on the first episode, and they said, God, that sucks.
Oh, yeah. Somebody messaged me about it, and they were like, it's 30 minutes of conversation in 2 hours. Which is that's a reasonable review of the podcast, but please do not comment that under our videos.
Yeah, don't say fucking mean shit under our videos. Don't remember anything I said. I didn't really mean it. I was espousing a lot of hard-wing opinions on a lot of things, so just...
Oh, yeah, that's the one thing you need to take away from the pod.
Just be cool about that.
Yeah, the pod is just us saying stuff and hoping that it is fine.
We're just...
If we ever get on SNL, which we won't, just know, like, Lorne Michaels, I'm gonna kill you if I ever get on it. Nah, JK,
I just
LOL.
want to say right now, if I'm ever up for SNL and you guys are scrubbing this podcast looking for stuff, Lorne Michaels, I'm gonna fucking kill you.
I will kill Lorne Michaels if anybody does this. Also, fuck you. We're quitting the podcast. Look at Cooper's fucking dick right now. Or my dick. Look at my... Yeah. Look at that hard-ass fucking dick. He's fucking... Me and Cooper are the worst, most sucker MCs in the world. We have bad breath, we smell bad, and everybody that we've dated cheats on us because we're not good partners. We have bad teeth and they're rotting, and we're poor, and we come from a bad family, and there's photos of our girlfriends sucking other guys' dicks.